Good dog. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Happy Black Saturday. But anyhow, hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving. And hopefully everybody made a little Skrilla last week. If you listen to your boy, maybe you made it, maybe you made a dime, man. Maybe you made two dimes, Jonathan. Let's is my chart showing?
Yes.
All right. I think all or most JPYs with I'm not going to include UJ in that, but I think most JPYs are going to have this daily bearish order block. The good was EJ, CAD J. I think even Chef J had a daily. Yeah, Chef J and GJ. They all bearish, right? I think they all need to push down a little bit more, and depending on which one you are trading, I would probably just fib this up move and get the pullback on the down move. Obviously, we're in the golden zone. I think this line represents 62 or 65%. So I do believe that this is going to go about, I think this is about 200 and some pips. I'm just going to assume it's going to give us a little bit of pullback on this daily. 200 pips to the imbalance. There's an imbalance right here. That's what this green line represents. I think this is very interesting because we're at the end of the month. But we're also at the end of the 3 weeks. We're at the end of the 2 weeks, so there are several different charts that need to kind of mesh. So it's not going to be as clean, as you would probably like. But if I go down to this 2-week chart and I fib this order block, my zones are going to look a little bit like this. This would be my pullback zone, and this would be the 78, right? But prior to us getting to that pullback zone on this weekly chart, right, we had an order block and we had a big A imbalance from here to here. So I could see price rejecting this imbalance area, right? But it may end up trying to push down into this weekly order block. So if you're trading GJ, you kind of have to be aware of the different charts and how they could affect your trade. I find it interesting that we pushed up. We kept going up, breaking this high on the smaller time frames. It didn't hold on this weekly, but we broke the high on the smaller time frame. Then we came back down, right? And this green candle, when it opened up, it took liquidity from this candle, but it also tapped in to the imbalance. So when it tapped that imbalance, it rejected it and it pushed the price all the way up here. So in my opinion, from my experience trading these types of setups, this imbalance probably has a lot of orders in it. So when price hits it again, I would not be surprised to see a crazy rejection. And there's an imbalance from here to where price is right now. So we'll have to see when this price opens up if it's going to pull back and close this imbalance first, or is it just going to pull back and leave an imbalance to tap this imbalance? Because then you might get you a little bounce action. This is not going to be a clean trade setup. You're going to get a lot of back and forth because you got these order blocks stacked in here. And then for all intents and purposes, for me, this is an order block. This is an order block. So if you're trading a JPY or GJ in particular, I would expect a lot of back and forth action. So if you're expecting a clean move, I don't think you're going to get it on this particular pair. And I think a lot of the JPYs are very similar. Order blocks stacked through here. A lot of times you see when price comes down and you hit these order blocks, you get these crazy reactions. you came and pushed this order block, you get the crazy reaction. Like these are like 100 pip moves either way. 200 pips hit the order block, 200 pip pullback. So if you're trading these pair, you have to expect that back and forth action. Don't over leverage. Take your profits. You get you 100, 200, 150, 200 pips. You might want to lock it in because it's going back the other way, 200 pips. You know what I'm saying? So don't be the person over leveraging, thinking that it's going one way, or because you got a nice candle of all these weeks. You got a nice 1 month candle. You think you're going to just get a smooth pullback. It's not going to happen. It's going to be nasty, and it's going to jerk. I like the trade setup, but it's just I want you to know that it's not a get in it and chill. It's not going to work out like that. So if you're thinking that, you might want to reconsider. Any questions? All righty. All right, EuroCAD and GBP CAD, they closed bearish, but they didn't close down here like I would have really preferred, right? Because if they closed below the moving average, I would have just expected a pullback and then the continuation. But as it stands now, this thing has retraced a good 50%. So this trade in particular would probably not be a favorite of mine to trade for that end of the month candle. But because of where we are in price, and I know everybody has a difference of opinion, but when I look at this and I see where we are in pullback, I'm just going to assume that we're going to go higher. And I know assuming can be dangerous. So I want everybody to be able to do their own analysis. But the fact remains for me that basically we had this consolidation and we went higher, right? We broke this high. We came up here and we still wicked out in this imbalance and we pushed back down. But this push down was just a grab of liquidity, internal, of course. And we ended up back in the same area. So the fact that we had all these candles closed, like the 3 week, 2 week, and 1 week, I can just go down until I get a sight picture that makes sense for me. For me, this 20-hour, I can clearly see this big imbalance that for me, I would like to see filled. On this 20-hour, I can see a clear move down. I can see a clear break of structure here. And I can see a need for us to need to pull back. So if I fibbed the move down, this is about the golden zone. There's a 78. To me, that meshes. I can make sense of that mentally. So if I'm trading EuroCAD, or if I want to trade EuroCAD, I wait for a pullback, and then I can buy this up. And I'm looking at about 220 pips or so. I think that's a decent setup. I think I can make the money that I need within that setup. So I would be comfortable taking that trade. All right. EA did not close bearish, which I was biased for it to do. It did not close bearish. What we did was come down and take the liquidity from the bottom of the market, right? The same way we took liquidity from the top of the market up here, we came and took the bottom of it as expected. So we were either going to close or take liquidity. We took liquidity. So I would be thinking that we're going to buy now, right? Now, whether we buy up to break these highs or whether we buy up to run the internal liquidity, again, that's an argument. So instead of arguing with y'all, for me, I can just fib this candle, right? See how many pips this candle is right here. And for my purposes now, because I think we're going to take the liquidity at least from the top. I know that's a 359 pip move, right? So all I would wait for is a pullback, and then I could take it higher, like to the top of that area, or I could just maybe take profit at the imbalance close or when we run these highs. I believe that we're at least going to make this high. So I would be comfortable with fibbing this up move. Right, we ran a couple of highs through here. So I'll be comfortable with fibbing this up move, seeing where price comes back to go higher. All right. When I look down here in this area, the reason I even highlighted that is because this zone right here has imbalance and it had an old high, right? So this high got ran, this high got ran, and we wicked this high. So I want to see us pull back. There's some equal lows right here. If we run those equal lows, it's going to put us right into the imbalance. So I would think that price would come to this area, and then I would look to catch a bullish move to the top of that range. And if you look at it, I mean, if you see the same thing, that's probably what I would that's how I would trade it. Maybe you don't see it that way. Maybe you see it as price continuing to sell, and maybe if you're looking at it like that, maybe you're fibbing from this move down here, and this is a pullback. I I can't argue, I mean, but what to me, what throws that off for me is this running liquidity, right? We got this liquidity. For me, we got to at least take out this high. This is where that move came from, and it took liquidity. We got to go back and take out this high. For me, even if it was just a liquidity grab, that's why I don't view this as something that's going to sell and break this low anymore. I view it as something that's going to pull back and then buy. And I get it if you view it the other way, but it's just we have a difference in the way we look at the market structure. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So remind me, the buy that you're waiting on for EA, you would let the market sell down, and then you would look for your buy structure, your chalk
My chart
on
on the 1 hour.
15 minute or the 1 hour.
I want to see it on the 1 hour.
Okay.
And here's why. Um, if price comes down here for me and gives me the chalk on the 1 hour, I'm trading this as a monthly uh, candle. I'm trading a monthly candle is what that's all I'm really doing, right? We had a bullish order block. I thought this was going to be a bearish order block, but it didn't. It ran back up. So all that is a tap into that bullish order block. We ran the liquidity from the bottom of the market. And now for me, we're going to take out these highs. For me, that's how I see it. So I want to see the change of character on the 1 hour. I have plenty of room to collect my money, right? And this might go all the way up here to this zone that we never hit for me. We never hit this zone in like from this move down, we never hit this zone. So we might run right up into that zone. And depending on how you look and what you believe, we can run and just keep pushing up. We could take out that high because the overall structure is bullish, right? I thought we were going to pull back, come feel the imbalance, but that's not the case. All we did was pull back. We took the liquidity from the top of the market first, and now we took the liquidity back from the bottom, from where we took it from the top. And I'm looking at this as we're going bullish. We're at least going to take out this high. I believe in the liquidity. I'm looking for the liquidity in the market. And when you run it from one end, the way I learned it is you got to take it from the other end, going to the other end.
And when you say we have plenty of room to make the money, you're basically saying if you get your first entry on the 1 hour, you still have plenty of upward room to add another position to make money.
Yes. So because
Mhm.
look, this is about the area where I think we're going to pull back to, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this next candle opens, it sells.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm correct, and we come down to this, let's just say the green line, I get my chalk. I have 450 pips to play with. If I can't make $1 zillion in 454 pips, I'm doing something wrong. That's me. That's where I am as a trader.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for you or somebody else, not necessarily you, Kenya, but somebody else who's listening, maybe they're not as skilled of a trader, but you have 400 pips, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I have several videos on how to make money with 100 pips.
Mm-hmm.
You're waiting for on the 15-minute or the 1 hour, right? Once you see what you need to see, you're waiting for um, breaks of structure with imbalance, and the market to pull back to get you an additional position as you break the structure and keep moving up. That makes sense.
Wait, say it one more time.
If you're trading this up, right? Like let's
Mm-hmm.
just say down here, right? Price came up and gave you your chalk right here and pulled back.
Mm-hmm.
As the market pushes up and breaks highs, right? See how this impulse candle right here
Yep. Uh-huh.
closed above this one?
Yeah.
You're waiting for a pullback into that imbalance. Now you can
Right.
position. Price goes up, right? Maybe you don't add again until we break this high with this impulse candle. This impulse candle
Um.
closed, broke this high. Pull back into that imbalance, you're buying again and you're going up. Maybe you're not getting in again until you break this high, right? So that's how I would personally look to get my entries if I'm trading this pair to the upside.
And you use the 1 hour for your breaks, not the 15
I
minutes
use the
anymore?
15 minute. I use the
Oh,
15
okay.
minute. I use the 15 minute. I want to see the chalk on my 1 hour, and then I'm going to use the 15 minute to scale in.
So when do you use your 18-hour chart and your
Well,
4 hour chart?
very rarely am I waiting for the 18-hour chart. But because people aren't on my same level or whatever trading, some people get confused when that 4 hour chart hits, right? So here's the 18-hour chart. If I was trading this, if this was the end of the month, right? And when this crossed over and closed and this pulls back, I could buy this, right? I
Mm-hmm.
could buy this pair to go up. It goes up, it pulls back, it would keep pushing up, right? That's when I would use my 18-hour chart. But because this didn't line up, like this move didn't happen um, like tomorrow. This move happened on the 24th. So all you're getting here, this push up and pullback, this is going to be a chalk on a much higher time frame. Maybe it's the 12 hour. No, it's not the 12 hour. Maybe it's the 4 hour. Here's a high. We broke that high, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was the 8 hour, but you're getting your chalk, you're getting your push up and your pullback just on a higher time frame. So
Sure.
all I'm saying is um, this particular trade, because it did it early, you can't use the 18-hour to get your entry. I mean, I guess you still could have, but you would have been kind of chancing it because it didn't happen at the right time. Everything to me is time and price, right? So we're at the end of the month. Now is the time that I need to see price do what I think it's going to do. And if it doesn't do what I think it's going to do at this time, I'm not interested. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So the higher time frames, this monthly candle, I see that we
What
didn't.
is the 50% of this week?
What's that?
The 50% of the week.
Of this week?
Yeah.
Right below my green line, about right here.
Mm-hmm. Normally, if he wants to pull back, then it has to be the 50% of the week.
So if so it'd be right below this candle for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we'll pull back. And that's right there in that imbalance. However you however you go about getting it, that's cool. We clearly see this imbalance. There's two imbalances right here. This high break right here that's the key. That's the key. That's the break for me.
So if you look, I mean, everything just makes sense anyway. Then this would be a breaker from this
Yes.
time frame.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also aligning in your the 50% of the week.
Yes.
And as well, we always need liquidity either above or hanging around our point of interest. With these lows, the marked where you marked out, it's like equal lows there.
Yep.
So we need to run those lows, then come down a little bit and mitigate the area.
There you go. So as soon as you run the low, you're gonna hit the first imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
That could trigger the trade, right? It don't have to come down to this one, but you still have to protect that area. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So even if the price taps in right here, you have to protect this imbalance because price can go down there. So if it taps in and it gives you your chalk, then you have a different protection area. But if you're going to set a limit trade, right? Some people, I don't know who all trades with limits, but if you're going to set a limit order and your limit is going to be right below these double lows, your stop needs to be below this imbalance because price could go down and close this imbalance. And if it were me doing a limit, I don't really use limits as much. I would probably just put it at the bottom of this candle. But it is what it is. However you guys decide to do it. To me, this is a pretty good setup.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's just a debate on how high you think price is going. Like maybe you don't feel like it's going to break these highs. Maybe you just feel like it's a pullback to keep going low. If that's how you see it, that's how you see it. For me, I'm chasing these highs, and I think it's a pretty clean setup in my book. Did that answer your question?
You talking to me or Andrew? Because you answered mine. You're good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I was talking to you.
Yeah, thank
Hey,
you. I was just trying to correlate the monthly time frame with where you want to see the turnaround happen, like what time frame, and you said the 1 hour.
Yeah, for me, I need to see the chalk on the 1 hour because it's plenty of room. You know what I'm saying?
When you say that, you mean like that first entry can have a 40 pip stop loss because the
Yes.
next entry is going to have a 10 pip stop loss.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you can get 3 or 4 entries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've been working on that.
Yeah.
Are you having issue with your entries or what?
No, I think my entries have gotten so much better. I think honestly, I have a problem with overholding my trade. So I'll catch the impulse move and then I'll still sit there and let it roll back on me. And then now the drawdown's too bad and I got to let it go. And then it turns around and it goes my way. So just taking my profits. And when I'm using a heavier lot size is where I'm practicing.
For me, King, if I get in here, I shouldn't see no drawdown.
I mean, I hear you saying
once
that,
the
but it
impulse out of
concerns me that there's an untapped order block right below you. So
Right
I
here.
know you hedge,
Here, down here?
right? Yeah, that one is it's not really tapped.
Okay, but that's what I was saying. If you limit this trade, right? Like let's just say you get in here, and yeah, that's 60 pips. So, but as long as you get your second entry, you should be good. Because your first entry could be light. I mean, maybe your lot size isn't heavy. But
And you wait till that one starts pushing out before you add your next one.
Yeah, but if we come down here and then we come back and break this high, we ain't coming back.
Right.
But I hope you understand what Ty is trying to explain to you anyway. Because On a normal day, you shouldn't enter this trade like this, you know, because you also need confirmation.
Right.
What about if you just keep, kept pushing down, then you have a limit or something. You're just going to hit your stop loss. So you just have to wait, market, get to that area. You
And
go down
see
to
the
the
reaction.
15 or 1 hour for a confirmation. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah, I'm tracking.
Mhm.
And Kenya, we have plenty of time. That's the thing. That's why I like trading that monthly candle, because a lot of times when we're trading and you say, okay, I got a 115 pip move, maybe you feel a little bit rushed. In this case, you got 450 pips. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You could wait until you get a whole daily bullish order block
Mm-hmm.
in your area. It forms out of your area. You might get a down candle and then a bullish candle, a daily bullish order block. That bullish order block might be a 100 pip candle. And somebody's going to make some money in that 100 pip candle, but it might not be you. You might wait for the pullback into that daily order block to take your trade.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a wrong way to approach it, as long as you're certain that you're getting the move that you want.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm trading it based off, I see the imbalance. For me, this imbalance is definitely going to get triggered. The question I have is, are we going to come and trigger the second imbalance?
So I hear you. And this one, I mean, you're pointing out all the things that we need to see to enter the trade and what to do if it goes lower.
What is the daily like?
I just can't imagine that this is the best setup that's out there right now. I
Well,
haven't looked.
I'm not saying it's the best. I just like
Yeah.
it. That's all.
Okay.
Hmm. And the 2 days?
The 20-hour to me is a pretty clean lip. You have an imbalance on the 2-day.
Uh-huh. So
So
most likely
come
you
down
will
to that
trigger the
imbalance.
imbalance on the 2 days.
Yeah. So Kenya, did we talk about GJ?
You did talk about GJ
Did I
at the
pull that?
beginning.
I pulled up CJ.
Well,
Cash.
but you addressed all the J's and you say all with the exception of UJ
I did.
and
But
the rest of the J's.
to me, GJ is a pretty simple. I
I
think
don't like this one either.
I
why
think GJ
you
will
have your
keep
order block
pushing
down.
down. At least we need to take out that low, the green line.
I think we coming to. I don't know if we're going to take it out or not. I
No,
know.
not that one, like the
This
one that is closer. Yeah,
yeah.
for
There's an
sure.
imbalance right here. So to me, I would love to see it come to this zone. I would love to see that, to take out the low of this candle. I would love to see us come to this zone, but that's like 400 some pips. It's not that it can't happen, but if we push all the way down here, then this trade will likely not happen until it'll get triggered probably by NFP. Does that make sense?
The sell,
The buy would get triggered by
the
NFP.
buy would be triggered by NFP because it's sold into this
Yeah.
area. Okay.
But I love the monthly candle. I love it. I just think we're going to come down and take out the low of this month. And I think we're coming into this imbalance.
Yeah, so I guess I got confused because you were saying it was like 300 pips for the buy entry. So I thought you were telling us sell it for 300 pips.
Well, listen, I'm if I'm trading GJ, I'm definitely going to sell it. I am selling. I'm not telling y'all to do it because some people can't do sell to buys or buy to sells. What I'm saying is, if this pulls back first, because it has that daily order block, right? It has a daily order block.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say this ends up pulling back. I'm definitely going to sell it, because maybe even if I sell it just to this imbalance, that's 168 pips to the imbalance. And I'm highly confident that we come into this imbalance. Once we get to this imbalance, I'm highly confident that we run in this low. So to me, if I sell this, that's 287 pips.
Yeah. I like it better now. I wasn't clear the first time.
Yeah, I look at what's in my zone. So for me, I believe this a 1 week imbalance. Let me see. Okay, yeah, this 1 week had the imbalance. So it makes sense to run into this imbalance and run the weekly low over here.
Hmm.
It's an order block, like it's probably going to reject. So even when we run in here, those 287 pips, maybe that's the point that we reject. But when we reject, I hate talking like this because people probably get lost. Maybe we run in here halfway through this imbalance and reject, and we just run to the top of this imbalance. Look how many pips that is.
For the up move, how many was it to half of the imbalance?
278.
Yeah.
But you have to still understand, and this is the way I see it, and I think many people will differ, but I'm looking at a move like this, then pushing down into this area, then getting out of Dodge. It's going to be a back and forth type thing. And here's why I think that. And this move down, this push down is a chalk on some level, right? We break all these lows as a chalk. We pull back from that down move. We pull back. So to me, we need to at least form an equal low. This chalk move told us that this is where the market is going. So when it pulled back, some people got into this at this imbalance. It pulled back to the imbalance. Some people got in for the sell, and their TP is right here. Do you agree with that, Andrew? You don't agree?
About the TP or what?
Yeah, because
so normally, yes.
Is Kim on here?
I'm not sure. Yeah, like normally, of course, some people also buy from this low, right?
From what, this low?
Yes.
Yeah.
So which means there is liquidity below this low, right?
Right.
And I swear there is liquidity on top of this high, like the high we are talking about, where people sold from. And what is this market seeking? Liquidity.
Of course, it's seeking liquidity.
And what? To rebalance imbalance.
True.
Then the market will only do two things at this point. Either we fill this imbalance and turn around, or we might come closer to the low. Even take out the low is possible before it turn around. So yeah, that is why we always, as a trader, want to see what we want to see before we engage ourselves. But we just know that, okay, around this point, this is what I am looking for. You just give yourself heads up. Okay, this imbalance, let's see if we tap in, if we're going to get a rejection, which if you scale down to the lower time frame, there is always a setup for you. Like it has to present itself before you will engage yourself.
And I agree. But some people, and I think y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Kenya, you're talking because you want to trade this on the monthly candle, correct?
I mean, I want to learn how. I usually use your same concept on the weekly and then the 4 hour and the 15 minute. And then I like to hang out on the 5 minute and the 1 minute, but don't judge me. So yeah, I was just trying to expand my horizons.
Well, so the thing that makes this a difficult or a different trade and not as clean as it would normally be, or the setups I would normally have, is because there are so many order blocks that went back and forth. So much the same way that UJ did, and that's why I wanted this. It was some people that was trading UJ with me.
UJ is much bearish though.
Is what? Well, it's is, but it's because UJ already filled that in. You got consequent encroachment, and it was a week in there that really threw people off because, all right, this is the week I'm talking about. Because when we got this chalk, still people didn't really believe that we were going to sell back down here. It was people that thought we was going to come down here and buy up. But for me, when this chalk right here, in fact, this is the chalk. This chalk said that we must come back to the low. So this down move finished here. But because it bought up like a hundred and some pips or whatever, right? And then it came down to the low. This buy up throws people off, but all that is a retracement from this move. And then we push lower. So in the way that I see this is this down move, we ran these lows over here. We just pull back up to our area to push lower. I don't think we're going higher until we break.
No. UJ has like a lot of downtrend to make.
I agree. I believe we're coming all the way to
It
this
is
zone
different
first.
from any other JPY.
Yes.
So
yes.
and we have to know we are in different, like, US economy is different from the Great Britain. So it's just different economy either way. So UJ has like more downtrend to make. I think it has like better opportunity for me either way. So
I agree. So this is, if I'm trading UJ, I'm either buying it up or I'm waiting to catch a sale from this area down into this imbalance.
at least into that imbalance first before we will say, okay, maybe we want to do something else. Because what I'm seeing on UJ as well, why I said that is because you can see this low that you marked out, we run the low.
Yes.
So I expect the high to be run, but before we run the high, you can see clearly if this is a change of character to the upside to run the high, then we have to retrace back at least to this imbalance or something around this area. That's why I saw it like it has like a bit of at least 500 pips to make,
Yes, I think it's close to 700 because that's if it pulls back to this area. So
then
I'm looking for it to pull back here, and we got a 700 pip drop.
At 800, yeah.
Well, but if it closes, I'm just saying safely you can get a 700 pip drop safely.
Easy, yeah.
So, Kenya, when you said that's not, to me, this is the best trade for me.
It's not just for you. All week I have been looking at UJ.
Well, okay,
even the little sell he was selling, I was just looking at you. I didn't want to like just involve because I was trading Gamma 40 throughout the whole week. So it was good for me. But later I said, okay, this week it has to be for UJ. And because of the dollar index, what dollar is doing, that is just the main reason I said, okay, I think the better opportunity will be UJ this week.
So do you see that, Kenya?
What, that UJ is the better opportunity for sale?
I don't know if you see it like that, but yeah, I definitely do.
I mean, it's clearer. Like when you highlighted the chalk at the top, and so then you had to pull back into your little zone, and then it sold down.
Right.
That's clearer. And then as far as like the other J's, I guess I just feel like I've gotten caught up with the JPY so many times that I'm only looking for sales. So like I don't want to get caught up in a buy and then it falls off a cliff. So I would rather be right. I've seen it happen like in seconds. And so I only want to take sales at this point because I feel like they're all gonna sell at any given moment.
So I want to see this low for me. I want to see this get ran first. Then I want to see a pullback. I want to catch my sell from right here.
That makes sense.
So, what is it? UJ, yes?
Yeah.
Because I always wait for this kind of setup for me, like this opportunity to present itself, right? So in UJ, if you go to the weekly time frame, not just back for something like the weekly time frame. So, okay, right? Like the green line, just the body of the candle anyway. Yeah, the opening of the candle, right?
Okay.
The green line, yes. So that is my area. And the other green candle, because it's the lowest, within the range of this red candle, and that is also the range. So, I use like, I don't draw like Rentago, all of this. So once price get to either of this area, that is when I will be looking for opportunity. plus if you look at like the monthly week that it dropped,
Right.
so that top area is the 50% of that week.
So right here
No, like
on this.
yeah, up a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the 50%.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
the 50% of that week. And that is why I just want something to make sense, just align a bit for me then I
Yeah.
will be
What?
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Something
So
like
for
this
me,
will
it's the
likely
same
occur.
thing. I said the same thing. We hit this zone. Because I feel this bullish order block. Here's the 50%. Here's the 78. So we went from this zone and now we come into this zone. All you have to do, in my opinion, is wait for a pullback to get an entry. You can hold it till it comes down to the zone.
Easy. Any trade, I don't know. I don't know who I was talking to. Like I said, it's so easy. I think we are doing something wrong sometimes because normally we could hold this trade until it gets to the point where you will be like, okay, at this point, maybe there might be a reverse or something. And we are talking about 400 pips, 500 pips. Most of the time, because we are just like, day trading, we want to take profit. It's just that
Exactly.
thing. And for you to look for another entry, sometimes it might be difficult if you don't pay so much attention or if you don't understand like market structure so well. So the best option, like I was telling somebody, is if you can catch the bottom or the top of that entry, just let it run. It doesn't matter the pullback. Pullback will always occur, but it's never
Mhm.
coming to that same entry point to stop you out. It might take time, like days or week, but all of that pips is going into your pocket.
That's true.
And this is what I'm going to do with UJ. As soon as he retrace, I know at least we are
60.
coming down to around this area,
I agree.
144 area or something.
I
So
agree. There's a big imbalance. Um, I think we're gonna run the low, but all that doesn't matter. Like we clearly see areas that you can hold this trade to. So if it does pull back, if this pulls back up here, you clearly see all these targets way down here at the bottom. There's no reason not to be able to hold that trade.
I have a question.
This is my fly to Colombia money right here.
I have a question.
What's up?
easy.
Andrew was talking about like looking at the Dixie.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just like
Explain the
go
Dixie.
to, yes,
All
please,
right.
like
This
in
is
correlation to it? Like what
this
is
is
it
easy
telling you
work.
guys?
This is easy work because on this Dixie, we
Do they
all
mirror
we
each
all
other?
had this, huh?
Do
This
they
is clear
mirror?
liquidity grab,
So we had an imbalance, right? Yeah, you remember? You see the imbalance
Yes.
from this drop. Price came up, hit the imbalance, and rejected.
You can
That
see
wick
strength
shows
is
you
high,
it's the
yes.
liquidity grab. We grabbed all the liquidity from the top of all these months of action, that liquidity grab. So I would expect to push up a little bit and then drop. There, look at the imbalance.
In
This
exactly.
imbalance
First of all,
coincides with the imbalance on UJ. So
yeah,
if you don't think we're going to go lower, you might just think we come into the imbalance.
just easy.
That's
Two
a
things you have to have in mind: either the imbalance or even clearing the low. It's just that two things.
that's a simple, easy way to trade it.
And you remember, if we want to be bullish, we need to buy first, right?
Yeah.
That's why UJ needs to buy a little bit more up
And Dixie
and
too.
before we set down. It's just what it is anyway. So
Which
I think it's much better amongst JPY for now because GJ either ways probably we start buying or a bit down something. So we don't know yet. But in markets this
I
week,
think UJ is a good look. But this is the exact same thing on this. We took the liquidity, we ran into this imbalance, which is going to be the same thing. It's going to buy. So whether you feel like it's going to buy to this zone or the top of the market, this buy will be available to you. You see what I'm saying? Like this buy is going to be available to whoever wants it. That's 370 pips just to the imbalance. It's going to sell first a little bit. Let's go to the 4 hour. And this is a this could be a Kenya thing, right? You see this wick that took out the high, we pushed down to the low, right? This wick took out the high on a lower time frame. We broke structure right here with this wick. We broke structure. Now it pulled back, so price is going to drop. Here's an imbalance here, and here's some lows. It looks like a trend line liquidity if you want to. So maybe we go wick past that, and we go higher. But all you're doing is waiting for a pullback. To me, this line or this level is an area that I'll be interested in looking for a buy if I see a chalk. And you can buy this thing on up to that yellow zone. I'm just going to delete this so it won't confuse people. You can buy it from this level to this zone. Right? If you don't believe in that zone, there's an imbalance. You can take your profit before it goes to that zone. But all I'm telling you, or all I'm trying to show you is these trades are here and they're set up. And if you just look at what the chart is telling you by liquidity, right? That wick, y'all, everybody should recognize this wick as a liquidity grab at this point. It wicked below these lows, but then it closed back up. It closed back up at this level. Liquidity grab, imbalance fill, however you want to look at it. Now we're going north. We saw the Dixie. We know the Dixie needs to sell. We know UJ is going to sell. We know EU is going up, which means GU is likely headed up too. Again, we grabbed the liquidity right here from these candles. We tapped into this order block. So we need to go up at least tap this zone. Same setup, guys. It's just what pair do you want to trade, and how are you going to, what do you need to see to get an entry? That's it. It doesn't have to be extra complicated or anything. If you had got in here, you're going to lose all these profits. It's going to pull back to this imbalance, and then it's going to go higher. Anybody got questions? These trades are available, man, and they're going to pay a lot of money. We just have to be patient, man. Like, and if you don't have entry criteria, go watch Smart Money Concept videos. If that's the way you trade, you can watch zones and zone video. I don't know. However you trade, the people will give you entry criteria. Y'all already know. For me, I need to see a chalk. So I need to see that every time. But if you guys aren't looking at it like that, then you're not going to be able to recognize your key, your entry key. So for me, the market was here. That gap is part of price action. That gap, we pushed up, we broke these highs, we pulled back. This should have been an entry. I didn't see it. I didn't see this entry. Pushed up, it came back. I caught this entry right here.
But you say you look for it on the 1 hour rather than the 4 hour, right?
Yeah, on the 1 hour chart. But y'all have to believe in something. Like for me, I'm only looking because this is the end of the month. Like the time lines up with what I expect. Last month, I know y'all, I don't know if you remember, me and Andrew was saying, hey, man, we want this thing to buy, right? And we never got it. And it just kept selling. So this month, I'm like, man, I know it has to buy. I just didn't know which low was going to get ran. Once this low got ran, I started seeing it draw up. So I figured that this was probably going to be it. So you kind of have to wait and let it unfold. But you have to have a checklist of stuff, or mentally you have to have a checklist. Okay, I'm waiting for a chalk on this time frame. It needs to run this high. Mark it on your chart if you have to. Mark the level or the high that you need to see get ran. And then don't make excuses when it gets ran. When it gets ran, it gets ran, man. That's how it works. And when it pulls back, you take the trade. Put your stop loss below the low, the original low, and then let it run. If you don't do it every time, you're not going to develop any confidence in your system. And you're always going to have a problem with pulling the trigger once you see a trade, right? So if you think about this, this was the low of this trade. This candle was the first candlestick that closed above the trade. It pulled back. You could have entered this trade based off that criteria as long as you had protected this low. I know you're told, that's too many pips. We can't have it all way. You can't have zero entry criteria and then complain about the pips when I give you a generic way to enter a trade. This is a generic way to enter a trade. And it works whenever you get that cross at the right time, right? You know you're looking for a change of direction because you had a month. In this case, you had 2 months of it selling and you expected to buy. Is this entry going to give you the best risk to reward? No, it's not. It's not. But it's going to give you a solid trade that you can win. And you know, you got to start somewhere. Any questions? Have you guys looked at any trades? Any trade setups that you like? Brad.
You see.
Can we look at USD CAD?
I saw that too. we could definitely look at USD CAD. If I was a CAD trader, man, this would have been that's Columbia face up. If I was a CAD trader, this would be a great setup. Okay. So the first thing that sticks out to me is price this is rare air for price, right? You get price up here in 2016, you get price up here in 2020, and here we are 4 years later and price is up here again, right? But every time price is up here, it has a magnificent drop. So I'm looking for price to, I've been looking for price to drop. We know the dollar is supposed to get weaker. And now we have the run of this liquidity, right? And we get to close below. So to me, this is all the same setup, right? We get a high that gets ran, we get price that closes below. For me, I would want to see price come down to this low. This would be where I would like to see the lower leg of this liquidity. Now, listen, it's a lot of pips between where we are now and this low. But the same way, it's a lot of pips between where UJ is now and, that 700 pip, it needs to drop. Or, and I think it needs to go lower than that. But to me, that's beside the point. You see, we took liquidity from here. You even see an imbalance where I have this yellow line mark. Even if you're not sure, right? You say, well, I'm not going to ignore that bullish order block. I get it. But you can trade it down to this zone that has a clear imbalance. How do y'all how do you normally trade UJ? Or what are your thoughts on UJ?
On UCAD, so I was on the 4 hour, and I was gonna buy it to that high right there, and then
you're gonna buy it to this high.
Yeah, to that high right there, and then look for a sell.
Okay, so here's what I would ask: why Why do you think what if it doesn't get to this high? What makes you confident that you're gonna hit this high?
So it's an uptrend on the 4 hour,
Okay.
and then I'm a pullback trader, so I saw that impulse move, and then it pulled back to, I guess, the bottom of that candle, and then I was waiting for it to see a change of character or some kind of high, high low to do a buy.
So did you look at the monthly chart?
No.
So okay, and I don't know. Maybe we do wick that high. But to me, this is where we get in trouble as traders. The monthly candle just closed. I think you do yourself an injustice, a disservice, if you're not looking at the higher time frames that close. If you're just going to trade this 4 hour, to me, you're trading directly against the move. And it's always going to set up like, it's an uptrend until it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This might trade up back to this imbalance and then fall.
So you would wait.
And I'm not trying to discourage you from taking a trade. Take the trade that you see because it's your money. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is now at least you have the benefit of seeing the monthly candle. But I wouldn't just stop at the monthly. I would look at every candle that closed, like the 3-week closed, the 2-week closed, and the 1-week closed. To me, that 1-week liquidity grab is, bruh, I'm not trading up when I see that liquidity grab. If I am, I mean, maybe I'm trading to this high, but bruh, that's a dangerous game.
Okay.
You were going to trade to this high. So what I would be asking is, this candle had a chance to close as a bullish order block. Then we could have pulled back and went higher. Why the hell didn't it close bullish? Why would that not close bullish?
Because of the monthly, the pressure from the selling.
To me, it means I'm seeing it as it didn't close bullish because it just took the liquidity. A liquidity grab to me means price is about to go to the other direction. And I know everybody doesn't trade like that. So what I'm telling you as the way I trade is this liquidity grab is the same as this liquidity grab. You see how this went down and took the liquidity?
Yep.
What happened to the market after that?
Pushed up.
It left. It left. It took this liquidity and then it ran the top liquidity. So in my opinion, when we take the liquidity from this side on the weekly chart, bro, we going into this liquidity.
Okay, I see that. No.
So there's no way I would not trade that to the upside. And I'm not telling you not to do it because as soon as I say they're going to do it, it'll go right up there and your trade would have won. But I'm just telling you, at least now when you trade it to the upside, you can be quick on the trigger if you need to close the trade.
Okay.
All right, let's look at I mean, are you good with that?
Yes, I'm good with that. I'm great with that.
All right. All righty. Somebody asked about this nasty pair, I think. Did somebody ask about you, Chef? I think I saw that in the chat. Let me see. Cash Chef.
No, Cash, Todd, my bad.
Okay. Let me see.
Cash App.
Well, I don't know. Hey, you be going to the woods to get these trades. Let me see on the monthly. I don't like this setup. I don't like it. What do you like about this setup, Lamar?
Well, it has your chart on the daily.
I mean, I don't know, but it could be because we ran into imbalance then.
I get it, and I want to see it go north, but
Yeah.
I let me show you my little friend, bro. You know, I've been hedged in here. This joker went down here and took liquidity
I
from
swear,
me. I think it's
this pair is the most useless pair ever.
bruh.
Ever.
I listen, and that all I'm saying is, I'm not getting in another chef pair until we get off the pot, bruh. Like,
Anyway, you are still in this pair?
yeah, I'm still I'm hedged in this pair,
Maybe at a point it might come to your direction anyway, but
bruh. Maybe, but
it's just too much for real. It's just too
it
much.
is, it is. But I don't worry about it because it's not hurting my account. Like I make money in my other trades, but for me, I'm kind of stubborn. I'm going to win this damn trade.
Yeah,
I
for
know
sure.
that price needs to come up here. So this wick, now this new wick that took liquidity, we still up here. So I'm not trying to discourage you either, LeVar, but I'm just trying to. I get it. I see the up move, but I'm like, man, look at where we've been for the past how many months, man? Like 3-4 months. 1, 2.
I agree, Todd. I
4
agree.
months.
I've been waiting for him to pop off.
Yeah, that's why I'm just saying, man, I'm not doing it no more, bro. I'd rather trade pair that's actually moving. Because we might be another 12 months doing this right here.
Don't say that.
I just look, bro. Look, this is in August. You got September inside ball.
Yeah.
October inside ball. I know this is not because we broke this high, but I need to see it move. Like I want to see this close above this moving average.
Yes.
And then maybe I'm saying, all right, maybe we're moving there. But because, bruh, this right here, if I was just trading Eurochef as a trader, I would never want to trade again.
Yes.
I've been in this thing, bruh. I've been like since August. They say like
3 months now.
Listen,
yeah, I was with you, but I think I got
1 week level. I made a 150K. I was up 150K. I didn't close out at 150K in a week, and then it started doing the heart monitor thing, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, oh heck no, man. So I just took my profit in the 90s, and then I just left a small piece, or a small trade in it, and I ended up having to hedge it because it kept pushing down. So I left it alone. I saw last week that we had wicked this wick. I'm like, God, no.
Yeah, I seen that too. I was like, yeah. Ain't never right.
Yeah, I like this thing. This thing it's on some riddle. It needs some riddling or something. It needs to be regulated, bro. So there's no way. There is no way. You couldn't convince me to get into another one of these cab positions until these chef positions until it start moving.
But I look back at the JPYs, then never mind. Disregard what I said.
No, hey, you do it, bro. I mean, maybe it'll just take off this month. But I ain't doing it, right? Like I'm trading UJ as my first choice. I like EA, I want to see it pull back, and I'm already in a GU position. So really, I can just let that GU roll. If it pull back, I can just add to it. But I do want to catch that 700 pip UJ drop.
Cool.
The EA trade will be my third choice.
UJ, GJ, then EA.
I'm in GU already. I'm in GU for the buy. So to me, UJ, I don't, even besides the GU or EU trade, I think I like UJ the best. But after those trades, I think the USD pairs are the best. But I know it's NFP week, and I know how people feel about that. But I like the USD pairs because like Andrew said, the liquidity got taken from the top, and we've been waiting for the USD to start selling. We dropped interest rates 75 basis points.
Yes. And
now it looks like they're going to start selling. So I mean, automatically you ride the other pairs up, right? You ride the GU or the EU, NU, AU, you ride those up, and you take the USD pairs with the USD in front. You start selling them.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you. I apologize for the.
No, it's all good. It's all good. All right. Who else got up here? Is anybody anybody looking at anything weird? GG, gold. I didn't even look at gold, man. US 30.
Yeah, let's look at the US 30.
Well, you want to look at US 30.
And gold, please.
Well, I like US 30 on on the NFP week because on the 4-hour it ranges and takes liquidity all week.
Well, I would love to see it come back to this area at least. You got a gap in the market that never really got filled.
Yeah, but you see that low to your right?
To my right. This one?
Uh-huh. And then you see the high that it made right after that?
This one?
Uh-huh. It's gonna take both of those.
Well, you got this, yeah, this already took that high, that liquidity right there. It took it.
Yeah, so now it's probably gonna go down and take some lows, or it might take the highs again and then take that low that I pointed out before it fills that gap.
This low needs to fill, yeah. This low in that gap to me is the same move, but I want to see it drop first.
Yeah.
I would love to see it drop to this level, to tell you the truth. I don't know if we'll get it, but that's a 900-point drop.
Exactly.
That's crazy. There's a 500-point drop right here to that low. I do believe that that we'll get it. That would be great. This definitely makes sense because this is a break and pullback. We'll see how it goes. Anybody have anything different for US 30? Gold is such a nasty girl, man. To me, gold has to come to make equal lows at least. There's an imbalance right here, so I would love to see it get into that imbalance. But this is another example for me of a chalk. We're in the clear uptrend, pull back, make a new high, immediately come break that low. This is just a pullback from the down move, and price needs to either make equal lows or it needs to keep going lower.
And the most
All
funny
this-
thing is that gold doesn't even respect what USD is doing or something.
You say what?
Gold. It doesn't move just like the way dollar index moves. It
Right.
moves different.
I'm just saying though, for me, I don't care about this right here. To me, that's just a smoke screen. We go into these lows right here.
Even the candlestick is telling us that gold needs to sell, right?
Yeah.
You see how heavy the red candles are?
Mhm.
Anytime it moves heavily.
Those are beautiful candles, man. It's $84 drop. Man, I hope I can catch $100 drop on gold. What lot size y'all be using? I know Newhoff be using 10.0s, but what lot size y'all use on gold? What's a good lot size for gold?
bro. You have to catch a good entry with that lot size, bro. Or maybe
I know.
not really a breakout, like when it's trending, then you are lucky with that. Oh my God.
I'm not putting no 10.0, bro.
Not on gold, bro. Like it just smoked your account. Uh, oh, okay, this is nice. I mean, you can also use 0.1 or something, or maybe one lot size, standard lot. Depending on your account size, either way. So I don't do more than one standard lot. But sometimes I can do more, but not when it's moving weird.
Hmm. I definitely think we're coming down here. I look at this as like a head and shoulder.
I don't care what the dollar index is doing right now.
I mean, either.
That is selling or not selling. I just want gold to come down more
Yeah, I
before
think
I will start paying so much attention to gold. But right now, I don't really pay so much attention to gold.
yeah,
When
I
I have
definitely
other
think
pairs
so.
that is paying me well, so why do I need to kill myself on gold right now? Nah.
Because New Off and Gigi be putting that gold in the chat. It's all gravy. It's all gravy. Does everybody know what they trading? Everybody comfortable with what they see? Kai.
Yes, sir.
Did you sell Chef JPY last week?
No, I didn't trade it. I didn't trade
I'm
it.
glad you didn't, girl. Cause I thought about you. I was like, man, I sure hope Kai listen.
No, I
Bro,
didn't get it. It didn't give me the signal to get in. I didn't get
no, that thing sank like a mofo.
it. No, I'm buying GJ this week.
Ty, can you look at GN, please?
GN is ugly. Ugh. You sure you want to party with GN?
I just want to know your thoughts on it.
I think it's ugly as it can get. Okay. All right. So from last week, I had it price coming to this zone. I really thought we would get a bearish order block. We didn't even come close. For whatever reason, GN started like going through convulsions in this area. I would still expect price to push down, take out the low, tap into the zone. But I'm looking at price buying, right? Again, I know some people may not agree. Maybe we buy up to equal highs. Maybe we take out the low and then we take out the high. I don't know. But because it's spazzing out right here, there's no way that I would even consider a trade at this point with much better setups. I do think we're going to push down and take out these lows, right? I would really expect us to tap into the zone before we bought. Now, if for whatever reason we bought up and we took out this high, right? There's equal highs up here. I don't know if you can see. This is the high, but if we just came up and took out these equal highs or came back to this red area before we push down to this area, I would still think we're selling. I would still think we're selling. I would think this is a down move. This is a pullback to still sell. But if we drop first into the zone, then I think we're going to buy. Does that make sense?
It does. I was looking for the buy. I was wanting to see how far down you thought it might come before it bought back up.
I think we're going to take out the lows of last month. Well, I think this is the low right here. But on that monthly candle, I would want us to open up, go down, take out that low. How many pips is that? Let's say I call it 140, 134 pips to the bottom. I think that we'll take out that low if we're going to buy. And I honestly don't know. I'm not really, I'm confused because I really thought, see how we ran that high?
Mm-hmm.
I expect to run this low. Now, another thing that kind of doesn't convince me that we're buying is because this is an inside bar and it's at the level of resistance. So I wouldn't be surprised if it bought first and we took out the high of this inside bar, but still respected this high to sell. That can totally happen. The same way, that it would happen on a lower time frame. If you have an inside bar, then you get the next candle, it buys and takes out that high and sells. It could totally happen. And in that case, the buy would be 315 pips before it starts selling. And for me as a trader, I don't mind if that happens, but I'm just not I'm not going to waste my time guessing about it when I have easier trade setups. On the 4 hour, I know it was a bullish order block. I thought that that last week when we went up, I thought we would take out these highs and then this week pull back to keep buying. I thought that was a possibility, but it didn't work out like that. We respected this high and we respected that low. So either of those two can happen. And as a trader, I want to have a one-way market. I want the market to be doing one thing, and I have to wait and guess in this case. So I'm not really interested. But if you're going to trade that's how I would look at it. I would look at either see whether it runs this low first, or if it starts pushing up to run that high.
Okay, I agree with what you see.
Awesome. Anybody got anything else? All right, and I know everybody doesn't trade like the monthly candle, so just remember you got your choice of order blocks: 1 week, 2 week, 3 week order blocks, and make sure you see what you need to see on the chart before you enter the trade. That's pretty much all that I can say about it, because everybody's criteria is going to be a little bit different, and that's fine. Just make sure you're seeing your signals, and you're heeding your signals accordingly. All right, guys. Any other questions?
Hey, do you think with the dollar supposed to be, I guess, selling, you think Bitcoin's going to keep going up?
Absolutely. Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, absolutely. And we didn't talk about those, but those candles, I don't expect that we'll be closing the imbalance. I think we might get slight pullbacks, but I don't see us pulling back like that. So most of the time, when you have these breakouts, right? When you have these breakouts, this is the same time period. If you look, in 2020, you see that extreme candle. We don't even attempt to close that imbalance. This is part of the bull run. We get that explosive action. Now on the bear run, we come back and we might breach or close those imbalances. So I'm not looking for a pullback very far at all. And we're going to start getting ridiculous price action. This is December. You're gonna start seeing these extreme moves from all the crypto. All the charts are going to start looking the same way, right? You see these extreme candles. So I would look for a slight pullback, and you can get in these trades to continue going higher. I would not look for a closure.
Like when you say slight pullback, like what price you talking about?
Well, I don't necessarily have a price point. So look, you see how we have this down move? I want to come down to equal lows, right?
Mhm.
So let me see the level. I can mark a level. I would look for this price to come to about 220-ish, right? 220 level, and then I would be looking for longs. I'm not looking for this price to break 215. So somewhere between 215 and 222, I'll be getting long. And what I like about Solana, like I got a lot of dry Solana. I'll call it dry spot. You know, I bought a lot of spot Solana at like 149, but I like trading it too in my Forex account. I don't know what broker y'all use, but a 0.01 on Solana is not bad at all. So if you're trading it on your Forex account, like a leveraged position, as long as you have a small position size, and I would test it out, this is probably a pretty good one you can get into, because from here, that $6 price swing might actually just be a few cents with a 0.01. That makes sense?
Yes.
So you could.
And what about Bitcoin? Because I don't really see like a place on Bitcoin where it will pull back to. It's like it's going to keep going.
Okay, so I think Bitcoin is going to pull back to the same area.
Like 92.
This is what I like to do, right? I like to put in this line chart. So in my opinion, you got this low right here. They got violated, right? So you can say that's a chalk. You know, maybe you have this and this, all these lows. See how once they violate the low, it goes lower. So to me, this low got violated and we pulled back. So we would make equal lows at this point. So I would be looking at this level.
Okay.
So I would be looking for price to come around 91.20 or 91.200, 220. And I would be looking for my chalk or for my signal that shows me that price is rejecting and starting to head up.
But
Even if
Taz,
you're
what
just
about
buying
that?
and holding Bitcoin versus like trading it.
What's that?
I say even if you're just buying and holding Bitcoin versus trading it, right?
Well, if you're buying and holding, I think you should just dollar cost average.
What about that gap down there?
What about it? I eventually, someday this will get filled. Someday. I don't know that it's going to get filled before March. Does that make sense? Elfie?
Oh, I guess. I don't deal with Bitcoin like that. I
Well,
was just wondering because I saw the gap and I'm thinking, okay, it wouldn't really break structure if it filled it.
trust me,
Would it?
Bitcoin might leave that gap for forever. And I know this is not a gap, but look at the imbalance down here at 13. Then there was an imbalance at 20. Look at this. Look at this imbalance right here. Never got filled. Then there's an imbalance at 30. Never got filled. So maybe in the future, but that's just extreme price action. And maybe even in March, the market is gonna do something funky the way it did this past March. And then you see how it dropped. Where is March at? See how it dropped in March? And then the summer months traded sideways. Maybe we'll go up here and do the same thing. And one of those months it'll come down and feel that, maybe. Or maybe not, But I think we're going to get extreme price action for the next 2 months. If you look historically at the bull runs, once you start getting this extreme action, normally it gets out of Dodge. Right? You get the extreme price action. You got November, December, January. And in this case, in January, you got a pretty good pullback. And then February kept pushing. Well, that's January. And then in March, well, in this case, this pushed through March. And then April, you got a pullback. And I don't know why that, but I don't know if y'all remember this past March, us saying it was going to be a pullback. Do y'all remember that? I think we were talking about US 30 at that time, but they're all the same. They're all, they all trade pretty similar. So I would say with a pretty good deal of confidence that we're going to trade north, and we're going to get some extreme candles over the next couple months. Money is easy. They're loosening money policy. They're not tightening it. So I think that we're going to get some pretty good price action going to the upside. All right, guys, any questions? If not, I got to go to my mama's house, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, guys. Happy holidays. Hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving.
Thank
And,
you.
let's make some Christmas money. Hopefully y'all don't participate in all that Black Friday shopping, Black Saturday and Cyber Monday. Hopefully y'all don't participate in that stuff. Y'all know it's a trap. They just here to take your money.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right, yo, thank you. Peace.